So I put together some slides last night. We, the speakers, we had a little dinner, and afterwards, I listened very carefully to what we were talking about and what the audience here was like, what you wanted to hear. And so what I did is I tried to put together some slides that really reflected what I was hearing. So it's not very polished, and it's uses stuff that I've cobbled together. I revisited it this morning at 6 a.m., realized there was some real crazy talk in there, and I couldn't blame Paul for all of it, so I had to tone it back a little bit. But what I want to talk about is something that Emily raised, which is the notion that customer service really is marketing. And increasingly so in this age where we're going through this communication revolution that Paul will aptly talk about, it's more important than ever. So why did I tell you all that stuff about my slides being kind of rough and I just put them together? It's because I want you to trust me. I'm honest with you. And companies are trying to do this because it's an expectation. They think they're supposed to do it, and everything else that I'm sure you read about in the popular media. But what I'm here to tell you is brands are lies. Brands are lies and half-truths. They're things that companies want us to believe that they care about, which they might, but really it doesn't reflect what's happening in the world today, which is that brands are being defined by the customer experiences they create, not what companies say about themselves. And please don't call them consumers. They're people. They're customers. When somebody walks into your business, do they say, "Hi, I'm a consumer"? No, I'm a customer. Or I may be a customer, or because of what you just did, I'll never be a customer. And so this is something that's very important, I think, in this hyper-aggregated world that we live in, which is people. People want to be treated individually. They want to know that when they are giving you their money, that they're getting their needs met with a product that they care about, but also that the values of the company that they are giving it to maps to their own values as individuals. And so we see a lot of this happening in this, in social networks and, in blogs and in media today, YouTube. Really what it comes down to is all that content that's being created by individual people is informing brand value. And you can't control it. If you're a company, you cannot control it. As Chris Brogan so aptly puts it, it's like trying to make a date go well. It just doesn't happen. So you're inundated with this whole notion of social. Social everything, social all the time. And ultimately what it comes down to is the notion that these are, again, people interacting. They're interacting online. The conventions for how we interact online are changing. So just as people evolve, companies have to evolve as well. And it doesn't just involve you as a unified company going into a marketplace. It's really about how your employees project your company as well, and how you communicate to your employees and how they communicate back to you. So you think about it, it gets really messy because it's not just this broken down firewall that now enables individual people to talk to individual employees, but it's also how employees talk to the company and how they engage the company around the things they care about. And so a lot of what's happened over the last 30 years, has been about enabling competitive advantages for companies through the back office. It's all the efficiencies we hear about in terms of, well, three-letter acronyms mostly. ERP, CRM, now it's social CRM, so it's got to be a little bit better because it's social. But ultimately, it's what we're seeing is this real shift from centralized, highly controlled processes to really fragmented, uncontrollable processes. And so if you're in a company